welcome to Flory Models Daily Vlog. Here we are on the 18th of February 2016 and review day. Now, I'm not here tomorrow or over the weekend. I'm actually having a long weekend away. I'll be back Monday morning. So what we've actually done is drag everything forward with everything else I've been doing. So talk about a massive amount of stuff to get through in today's show for all the new stuff we've got coming up. So obviously, starting off with, I've rejigged and played around with it. I've still got to do a lot more in there, but for the moment it's in the layout. I've taken away some of the old videos, which are horrible, nasty, low-res things and all the rest of it. Got rid of those, and I've been replacing them with brand new tutorials. So obviously you had the sanding one the other week, talks about how to use a sander, and it sounds really stupid, but the amount of feedback I've had from you guys saying, you know what, you've changed my life. You know, I no longer do I get scratches in my plastic and all the rest of it when we're saying about don't push, let the sander do all the work and all the bits. And working through grits, you don't have to go through 20 grits, just use 3 sanders and away you go and your job done. So if you haven't seen these, might be worth just going and taking a look at it, and you know, perhaps you might learn a little thing or two. Next one up, which is obviously the new one. I know a lot of you have got off and watched it because it went up yesterday, although I didn't actually tell anyone. But you've got fillers and filling, okay? So this is the basics. It's not showing you how to do every single filler job and all the rest of it. It just talks about the main different types of fillers that we've got out there. So in it, we cover things like your putties, chemical putties versus your sort of more water-based putties, and how they've evolved over time. Then we talk about using CA glue, mixing it with a little bit of talcum powder or baby powder, just to help things along with it. And then we talk about obviously making your own styrene fillers and things like that and how they work. Now what I've done is actually in the section it is now, I've sort of interlinked them. So the styrene filler one is right there. Okay, so it's all about that entire section. All right, so now when you're going through the thing, you've got the 2 big things that are like your beginner's guides, if you like, one on airbrushing and then one on modeling, and then underneath you've got the topic. So you've got glues, and there's that old one, which I still think is pretty relevant. I can't see any point of really changing it. And it talks about glues and their uses. And then the new section, obviously you've got in there, which is about, fillers and filling, and basically it's just going to cover all those areas. But you might learn a few things in there. As I said, it's not a total every single way of doing it, and we don't talk about every time you use it. It's just to show you how to use them and in different contexts. So, you know, as I point out in the videos, some things like you probably wouldn't use a super glue filler if it was a difficult area to sand, purely because it's harder to sand than is a water-based putty, for instance, and things like that. And we talk about dissolved putties and all things like that. So all things filler and filling are in that section now, okay, and you can see it in there. Then the other new one, which went up like last night as well, is on rescribing and re-riveting. So basically we get poor old Buster, who has had a bad week, shall we say. He gets a job on this one, and he's been re-riveted now and sort of, you know, and everything else. And the big thing is about doing panel lines, and we use about templates, using needles to do circle ones, and all the little things like it. And again, it's just to show you clean and clearly how I do it, okay? And obviously there's different things on there, but a lot of it is different things, from your traditional pea cutter to the trumpeter one, to using a pin, to using things like the new Alec Holly one that I use, which gives a fantastic cut and everything else like that. So, you know, have a look at that one. You can see all about that one. That one is up on there now. The ones I intend to do next week, as amongst doing other things you'll talk about in a moment, is I'm going to show you how to work on a resin cockpit. So what I'm going to show you is on a 1/48 scale Hornet cockpit I've got. So it's very small, because then I was going to do it on something big, because I have got a phantom cockpit down there and things like that, and I thought, oh, well, that'd be interesting. But in some ways it's so big, it's pretty easy to see. I thought doing something small would show you a little bit more, you know, in depth and things like that. So we've got one of those down there. And to be honest, I've also got a wheel well set down there for a MIG and various things. So I might just use those as well, just to show you, and I can show you down here, talk about obviously taking the backs off of them, the blocks off of resins and the various things like that. And the other one I'm going to show next week is about dry brushing, which, to be honest, from my old YouTube days back in the early 2000s, one of those has been seen now by something like 300,000 people. So I might redo that one, because it always seems popular with people. But something as simple as dry brushing, when to use it, the colours to use, and on what surface and things like that, and all the different things to it. So hopefully we're going to start to build up now, as time goes on, a complete tutorial section on things. I'm going to do a new one on about decaling as well, because one we got there was from a couple of years ago on a helicopter. I think we're going to have decaling on some quite complex things coming up shortly. So it'd be interesting to see different techniques and different ways of doing things. Like on a glossy thing, it's no problem at all, but on something that's like conformed and lumps and bumps and all those things, I think it'd be quite interesting. So I'll reshoot that one as it comes in and make it into a fuller 45-minute video and everything else. Because that's the other thing. Originally these were going to be 15-20 minutes. No, can't fit it in. So these are big 45-minute videos on how to do it as we make our way through. So go and have a look at the new section in there. Have a look at the videos. Tell me what you think. Give us your feedback on it. What would you like to see me cover as a sole project and all things like that. Okay, and I can make my way through them. Today obviously is review day standard, and then normally you see them tomorrow, but they're obviously up today. So actually I did this one last night. This is the Zvezda Rebox of the 144 787 800. It's not a perfect kit because there is problems with it. So what we've done, we've bought all the correction sets for it. And as you'll see in this video, we went really to town. I got a bit carried away because I've got both engines. I've got the General Electric and the Rolls-Royce replacement engines and various bits on it, because there's a correction for down the belly here and all different areas like it. You can even get a cockpit for this thing. Not that we've bothered, but anyway, we've got all the bits down there, and I intend to start on that one next week, and it's going to be all about painting something big. So what I'm going to do is on Monday, as we start to make our way through it, I'm going to speak to you guys, put up a poll perhaps, and give us a shout out for some markings. Go and have a look, see what markings are available for this thing, and you know, obviously the one that gets the most shout outs, I will put it into those markings, and we can do it just like that. So something really interesting, something a little bit different. We've never done a straightforward airliner. We've done transports, but we've never done an airliner before, so obviously we can have a look at that one. The other thing, which I must admit I wasn't very excited about it, is this one, the Kinetic 148 scale Su-33 Flanker D. It's one of my favourite aircraft. A lot of you know I fly a lot online, and obviously I fly DCS, Flaming Cliffs. I love flying this thing on and off the carrier. Love it. So when it came out, I was thinking I could probably build it, and then I intend to build all my DCS flight sim aircraft for my little office and all the rest of it. So to be honest, that's why that one is done in flight, very nice, and I'm going to have more like that. But again, I thought, okay, we'll get the kits in, Kit Buyer Club, a couple of you ordered them, so right, okay, we got 5 of these things in, and it was a case of, right, well, one for me. We'll do a review on it. Wow. I absolutely love this kit. This was one of those kits where I assumed it was going to be the standard Kinetic, you know, it's all there, but it's a little bit clunky and a little bit, all so close, but not quite there. Go and see the review on this. It's quite a long one as well. I can't remember exactly how long it is until, to be honest, it's over there rendering as we speak. But it's probably a good half hour at least review of this one. We look at a lot of the parts on there, and I absolutely have fallen in love with this kit. Not only has it got brand new things that I've never seen Kinetic do before, like obviously the one-piece missiles and stuff like that, slip molding techniques, but the level of detail on this kit is like nothing I've seen on theirs before. The detail in the cockpit alone is absolutely fantastic. Normally you think, yeah, put in a photo etch set on it, colour photo etch set just to liven it up, that'll work. But this, honestly, you don't need a thing. I reckon this is completely out of the box. It's not perfect, and to be honest, usually when I'm dealing with somebody like Tamiya, I will not cut them any slack, as you probably know. And I will literally hit on them all the way through, because they're a big company, they know what they've been doing, and they're charging horrendous prices for their models. That's why I do it. If you're going to pay good money, I want a good kit. These guys, I've always been a little bit soft on them. They're a new company. They've only been going a few years now. I think, what, 5-6 years now for Kinetic. And slowly a nice progression as we've come up, seen it, you know, very much through the ranks, if you like, of the actual modelling community. This has suddenly taken them, as I say in the actual review for it, from like number 5 out of 10 of kits to basically 9.5. Okay, they had jumped that far. If you haven't seen this kit, go and have a look at the review, because I highly recommend you do, and you will look at Kinetic now and in an entirely new light, and I will as well. And to be honest, I've got 2 more kits of theirs down there. It'll be interesting to see how they stack up. I know, because they're around about the same age as this is. So in some ways, I'll be really disappointed if they've slipped back now. But this one is absolutely fantastic. As I said, it's not perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect kit, but unfortunately, we do have some nasty sink marks in the wings. Okay, and there's a couple of little marks down here with the intakes. The instructions are absolutely lousy still, and they're grainy and horrible. And there's no sort of colour, nice pull out for doing markings and decal placements. It's just a grainy black and white photo, well, black and white graphic image. So it's very hard to see what you're doing with them. So I wish they'd spend a little bit more money and do that. And I think probably because it's only on one sprue, they've come out of the mold too quick, and they've sunk and shrunk a little bit when they've been doing that. But generally, I have to say, they've gone from being, it's a Kinetic kit, you know, fair enough, to wow, Kinetic, beautiful kit. Originally, I wasn't going to build it that soon, but after seeing it, I am absolutely itching to build it. I want to weather this thing to hell. I would love to build two. I want one on the stand in flight to go with my collection, and I'd love to have one folded up with opened up as well, because it lends itself really well on that build. So please, if you do nothing else today, go and have a look at that review, because it is absolutely fantastic. The other thing we speak about is this guy. A couple of people asked me yesterday, two people, separate people, completely off the bat, and they asked about the Halifax. When's the Halifax coming? The Halifax is literally coming straight away. So we're going to do probably another 2 weeks left on the actual, because we've got to weather this guy down here on the Terminator. So as soon as the Terminator's finished, it's going to be on the back of that one. All right, so that's the next one up. And to be honest, this little guy arrived today. This is the correction set, which has got the correct props for it, the radiators, the spinners, and a few other little bits and pieces down in there. So they have turned up for this one. They're by AML. We'll look at these really at length when we actually do the conversion on it, and we use them in anger actually doing the kit. But for you guys that are asking about, you know, World War II bombers, multi-engine bombers, I've been getting a lot of it recently. It's coming, so it's going to be within the next 2 weeks we're going to start. And as I said, next week basically you're going to get the last part of the MiG up, and then after that you're going to get the 787. I'm going to crack on with that one next week as well, and doing the Terminator. As you probably have guessed from the review on this one, it's not going to be a massive build. Even the conversions are very straightforward. They're drop-in replacements. There's no real cutting and chatting and everything else like that. But again, it's going to be all in the finishing off, all getting it a nice solid colour. We're going to be using black primer on this one and really going to town on it to give us a nice solid airliner look. But again, looking forward to doing the Halifax set. Got a bit of family history with that one back in the day, and now we have the correction set which turned up for this week with it as well, because I know a lot of you guys said to me, will you be doing the conversion set? And at the time I was thinking, probably not, we'll do it out of the box, and then I get close to these things and I think, yeah, no, better do the conversion set. So we'll do it like that. The medals, I haven't had a chance to go around and email you all yet, okay? So if you're watching this, can you shoot me a PM, preferably a PM, guys, through the forum. Don't do it to me direct or any other way, because trust me, I get thousands, or not thousands, but hundreds of emails over a weekend and things like that, and it will get lost, okay? So if you can shoot me a PM through the actual forum itself, just message me direct in there, and if you can actually put your full name and your full address in one block, so I can just cut and paste it, and then I can cut and paste that onto the thank you letter and your little certificate-y thing you're going to get, and then everybody will get, of course, your medal. You're going to get a sticker set and the prized laughter black badge. Okay, so then they will go out to you on Monday, and I'll probably have to do them like we did last year in batches, about 30 at a time, because we do that with the orders. Trust me, it's not worth the spit in the back of the hair from the pensioners in the post office when I turn around and say, 30 of these to go, please, because they didn't have a fit. All right, so if we can leave that one, it'll be absolutely fantastic. So that's about it for me for this week. As I say, I'm having a lovely long weekend away in the woods, in the cabin, where there's no internet connection. So what does that mean? You might not get a response. So if you're thinking about signing up to Flory models, as a lot of you obviously do, and you don't get in, don't keep subscribing. Okay, I know it's really difficult and you think, oh, it hasn't gone through for whatever reason, okay, but don't subscribe again, because it means I have to go back in and refund you and cancel your secondary, third subscriptions, okay? So don't worry about it. Although there is no internet connection down there, I can walk to the top of the valley and go and get internet up there, and then I'll be able to sort you out direct. But as I say, it's not one of those things. There is no internet connection, there's no phone even, there's no nothing. That's why we go there, so I get no nothing. I'm like itching, and everything else. So I have to talk to people and weird things like that. So if you don't get a hold of me straight away, don't panic. I will be in touch with you. I'll shoot you a link that will get you into the site and all the bits and pieces, and I'll take care of it all when I come back. But I know what tends to happen is people are like, oh, he's not answering and all the rest of it. It's literally, I am out of complete everything. It is back to nature. There's a fire, a hot tub, and that's about it down there, and that's it. Okay, so anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me this week. Thank you for all the great feedback and everything else. Have a lovely weekend, everybody, and I'll catch you all on Monday.